This is Wandering North America. In this episode, we look at Charlie 22 Outdoors and their efforts to prevent veteran suicide. We'll talk to Scott Hettinger, who is the creator and primary driver behind Charlie 22 Outdoors. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Tell us about Charlie 22 Outdoors.
Well, our mission is to show a hope and love and a meaning that comes from God's grace to our nation's veterans, and we use the outdoors to do that. This is our 6th year, and we were founded on hunting and fishing, and that was our primary focus. But now we're doing everything from horse therapy to NASCAR to golf to knife making, axe throwing, mountain fishing, just different things. And everything we do is at no charge to our vets. We pay for lodging, travel, meals, tax, everything.
Now, are you a veteran?
No, I'm just Army brat.
What was your inspiration for starting Charlie 22?
Well, growing up in that environment, I've always had a passion for the military. I did this type of thing with another group for a while and went to church on October 7th of that year. And our preacher preached on Joshua 1:9. And the verse says, "This is my command to be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go." And it just hit right then. Why am I not doing this? Made some phone calls, and within a week we were a nonprofit, and we got our first event January of 2018. Here we are, 6 years later.
What events did you start with?
Oh, so that's a funny story itself too. So we were founded in October 17, and our goal was to have our first event April of 18, a turkey hunt. And as I began talking to people about what we're doing, we needed money, place to go, and people to work with. Those three things. And in November, our president, his company is Tri-State Truck Center. Here in Joplin, it's where he works at, but it's based out of Memphis, Tennessee. They called us and had chosen us to be their charitable contribution recipient for the year. So we went over there. That was December 6th, I think, of that year. Had lunch, met the owners and the staff and so on, and proceeded to give us a $7,000 check.
Wow. So
we have money now to do this, because what we do costs money. You have to pay for travel and things like that, right? Now you need a place to go, you need vets. Get a phone call from TNC Wildlife over Fort Scott, Kansas. And they wanted us to come there in January to do a pheasant hunt with them. So now you went from having 5-6 months to prepare for an event to possibly having 2 months. And not that that's an issue, because we're capable of doing that, but all of a sudden your timeline's cutting.
You need participants.
You need participants, exactly. So we made the deadline for participants to apply was December 31st. And on December 28th, one of our volunteers calls me and says, "I'm nervous." "What are you nervous for?" And because we don't have any applicants yet. And I said, "That just means we wait till April. That's all it means. We'll just do it in April." And then the very next day, 15 applications come through, just out of nowhere.
Wow.
So I called him back, and he was nervous again, and he said nervous because he had to pick 4 of those vets. And I said, "Yes, you do, get started." So we had our first event January 18th or whatever it was that year, and we had 4 vets there. We did a turkey hunt that year as well, and a deer hunt. We served about 18, 19 veterans that year total. We had our banquet that year as well. This year, 6 years later, we have 112 things on the calendar, and we'll serve over 1,000 people.
Now, do people have to show up with their own equipment, or?
Nope. So most of our events, if we have a landowner who's involved, they usually provide the guns for us. If they don't, we provide the guns for deer hunting. The fishing events, same deal. They can bring their stuff they want to, but it's not required. So we're blessed with a volunteer base and a landowner base and support base that all that stuff's covered.
Nice. Well, fishing rods are a little different than rifles.
Yeah, they are. They are. So deep sea fishing, we had one, see, June 9th, we had deep sea in South Carolina for the weekend. And so that required a boat to get out 70 miles into the ocean, and then obviously different rods and reels, and we don't have those, but this guy does. He's a Marine. He's our host out there, so he covered all those things for us.
Your goal is to heal the veterans.
Yes.
How does these outdoor activities tie into that?
Well, PTSD is very real. I don't have it, and I don't pretend like I do have it, but it's very real to those that do. And we're not curing that. We know that. What we're doing is, as I said a while ago, showing a hope and a love and meaning from God's grace in the outdoors. Our belief is that a relationship with Jesus Christ gives you the tools to battle the demons. That's our belief. And for those that don't do this, hunting activities, fishing activities, are hard to explain, but when you're in the outdoors, in a hunting blind or on a pond bank or in the ocean, as I said, deep sea fishing, there's a connection that takes place. And if you've got volunteers and vets that are like-minded, then you're going through very similar things with each other. The connection, that bond is established, and then healing starts to begin right there. When a veteran trusts you and knows that you love them for who they are, oftentimes they'll share their story with you. We don't ask them to do that, but if they want to volunteer, we listen. And that's when they begin to heal. When they get off their shoulders what they've been holding on to for years and years and years. We've been blessed to work with World War II veterans, and all the way through Afghanistan and Iraq. So nobody's immune to PTSD. When those guys go to, when I say guys, I'm talking about our men and women who fight for us. When they go to war, combat, nobody's immune to it. PTSD can happen to anybody. And what they see, what they go through, causes that. And many of them come to us and say, how can I be forgiven for what I've done or what I've seen? We don't earn that. That was something provided for us 2,000 years ago on the cross. And we're trying to show them that you don't earn that. What you did was a job, and we love you for what you've done and who you are, and we're here for you and try to help you through what you're struggling through.
How do veterans find out about Charlie 2-2?
Well, at first, as I said a while ago again too, at first they had to apply, find our website and apply. That was the first part. Well, now it's snowballing. When the vet comes to an event, they begin calling their friends, and then the next thing you know, you have, well, we had an event last weekend, and
what was that event?
Little Flat Creek. So it's a private place we have by Purdy, Missouri, which is called Little Flat Creek Ranch, and fishing event. So we had vets there, volunteers there, the hosts, the different people coming and going from that. Well, since then, they've already had applications come through from some of their friends for future events. So generally, that's what takes place now. They go home and tell their buddies about it, their battle buddies about us, and then we get applications.
Very nice.
So,
what's your next event?
Next one is session 2 of Little Flat Creek, actually. We'll be down there this year, let me count, 4, 5, a dozen, 15, 20 times. I forget what the number is.
Wow.
So in the next session is that. Now, there are opportunities to serve between now and then. We have vets this Saturday that'll be at Bands for Brothers. It's a concert to raise money for Our Veterans First. We have vets that'll be serving there. We have vets serving in Oklahoma at Oklahoma's Oklahoma Full Automatic Shoot, which is down by Wyandotte. So there'll be veterans there serving. But the next event for them to be guests at will be Little Flat Creek in July. And then once fall gets here, we go right into our hunting events. We have 4 or 5 deer hunts coming up this year.
Wow.
We have a trip to Colorado to go fishing in the mountains. We have Roaring River coming up in October. Then November gets here, we have the Veterans Week down in Branson.
So for all these events, you pay for transportation.
Yes.
You pay for lodging. You pay for food. You pay for whatever equipment they need. All they have to do is show up with the clothes on the back.
They apply at an event. If they get accepted, then they show up and it's all taken care of.
What kind of criteria do you have for acceptance?
Serve. If you've served. We don't limit it to Afghanistan and Iraq veterans. We don't limit it to World War II. If you sign that line, in our eyes, you served. And you apply. Now, reality is, you have 4 spots to an event and you got 100 people applying to it, people aren't going to get to come.
Yeah.
So that's the reality. So we try to serve those first that this is their first time with us. and then we open the beds up to those that are returning veterans. So, but as far as qualifications, if you sign that line on our eyes, you're a veteran. Or you maybe still serving right now.
Now, I noticed on Facebook, you put out a request for people to help a vet move.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The appearance is that, former client or not, a vet is family.
Mm-hmm. We tell our vets that when they come to an event of ours, the activity that we're doing is the draw. Whether you're turkey hunting or trout fishing or mountain climbing, it doesn't matter. That's the draw, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But when they leave, they have developed a bond with us, and us with them. They become part of our family. And that's what we tell them. This is not a weekend thing. This is a lifelong relationship you founded or formed. And so when you talk about the moving, those are veterans that we know are vets that know somebody who needs help. And we put an all call out to see who's out there to help do those things. Moving, helping with vehicles, helping with land care, helping with whatever. You know, during COVID, we were blessed to be able to serve meals. You know, we have a partnership with a local meat processing company that we're able to get meat and take it and deliver it to people who need the meat. And then we've helped pay some bills. We've got a benevolence fund. We help pay with electric bills. We help pay with car repairs, whatever it is. So our founding was on hunting and fishing, but it's definitely gone in different directions since then.
And as long as you're a vet, your family.
Yes, and your family's family as well. You know, we have couples retreats because the spouses live this as well.
Yep.
We have most of our events, we try to make them all family friendly where they can bring their children with them. Unfortunately, as I said a minute ago, sometimes beds are limited, so you can't. But we had one 2 weeks ago that was that brought 3 of his kids with him to that. So it's family. It's a family affair, and we, as we say, we're not curing PTSD. We're trying to show a way to battle that, and know the people that are there for you from now on.
So you've grown a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Your scope has broadened greatly.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you envision Charlie 22 Outdoors going in the future?
Well, future for us will be to always keep the mission the focus. If we keep what we're trying to do, the focus, which is to show a hope and love and meaning from God's grace, I have no idea where it's going to go, because it went from 3 events and a banquet 6 years ago to over 100 this year. And it's not by my doing, it's because people believe in it. They get it, they understand it, they know what our purpose is, and they want to be a part of it. And when you have every event you're doing now, a returning veteran coming back to share it forward, something right is taking place. They come back to be a part of it, to see us get what they got, something's happening that's right. So I see us possibly buying property of our own, preferably being donated property, that we could put a building on to house a larger group of people. I see also the possibility of different branches of Charlie 22, maybe like a West Coast and East Coast. That way, there are people that are in immediate need. In South Carolina, for example, you got somebody there that can take care of them right then. I see the volunteer base continue to grow. I see the support system continue to grow. But as long as the mission's the focus, that's what's going to happen.
What is the biggest obstacle you foresee to where you're going?
Obviously, it takes money to do what we do. So if that ever stops, then we can't do this anymore. So financially is always a concern. Obstacles. I would say if we develop a personal desire and have a personal goal, one man's goal, then it will collapse. So the obstacle will be to make sure that we do not put that in the forefront, that we keep that out of the picture. Any personal desire, that we just continue following our mission and showing God's grace. We keep doing that, we'll be fine.
Here's a question for you, Scott. What have you learned about yourself through this process?
Oh, wow. I've always known I had a passion for our vets. And I would say, as far as the ministry portion is concerned, that probably has really, really been exposed to me more. That's become more apparent to me how much I love our veterans and our military and our country. I pride myself on being a good father and a good husband, but I've learned that if you have your focus correct, I'm talking about myself, and you place others above yourself and try to do that daily, then you're going to see life change, and you're not going to know it until you see it happen. And when that happens, it has floored me. When I get a phone call or a text or an email or anything from a vet saying, just want to tell you I love your brother for who you are, person I met 6 months ago. That's what I've learned about myself, that if I can keep doing that emotionally and spiritually and mentally, keep myself in check, then I'm going to get to watch life change.
So there you have it. Charlie 2 Outdoors, helping veterans wherever they are with whatever they need. Thank you for your time, Scott. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
You have anything else to add?
I would just say that they want to find out more about us, our website, charlie22outdoors.com, our Facebook page, call me, email me, get involved. The family, it takes family to battle PTSD, whether you're a veteran or a civilian. You can be part of our family if you believe in that and want to be part of it.
Very good. Well, I appreciate your time. I hope you've learned something about Charlie 2 Outdoors. And Scott is another one of those people who service before self. He's the guy that will do what it takes.
Try to.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Appreciate you.